believe it or not, this attracts fish. Hi, it's Wayne O'Keefe from howtofish.com.au, and many people ask me on how I attract fish into the spot, into the area that I want to fish, into my target area. And as you know, or if you've seen my previous videos, I use burley a lot. I mean, it's one of the things that most anglers use, especially anglers that have boats that go out into the bays looking for some of the bigger fish. They'll be pushing out bait all the time. They'll be dropping out baits, they'll be chumming up, burleying up with bits of fish and other things to attract those fish into the area. Now, if you're land-based fishing, you can do the same thing. And one of the ways of doing that is with this. Now, this is just simply what is known as a spotting bomb. They use a hollow tube, they put food in, and they cast out. It empties, and that drops food into the target area. Now, what I have is, this is a commercial spot. See, it looks like a rocket. The top there, that orange piece, is very, very buoyant. What you do is you tie it to a fairly stout line. You need a fairly strong fishing line to actually be able to cast this out because it'll weigh a bit. What they do is they put all different types of baits into this. They cast out. It actually, once you cast, it actually fires like a rocket, if you like. It lands. When it lands, because it's buoyant there and there's weight in this, it turns upside down. The food all comes out, distributes on the bottom, and then they pull it back in. And if you can cast the same spot each time, you can get quite a bit of bait on the bottom, which will attract fish in. Now, before I had something like that, I just simply made something like that. And these are very, very... Now, all it takes to make something like this is, well, I used a shampoo bottle that my wife had. So, recycling. And what had happened, it had the base of it, which was here, which is a bit of an odd shape, I just cut off. That made that nice and round. You need it to be round so that it's aerodynamic. You actually want it to be a little bit like a missile, like that. So all I did was, I just found something with a round edge like that. I cut the uneven bit off that made it less aerodynamic. And then to make it buoyant, I put a table tennis ball in it. So I glued that in. There's a table tennis ball just glued inside that. I put a little bit of paint on it so that it looked really professional, as you can see here. And then I drilled holes in it. And the reason for the holes are to get water going in there pretty quickly. And then once that does that, it stops any of the bait clogging in there. The last thing you need to do is put some pretty stout braid or mono inside it, so that you can actually, with a swivel, so that you can actually tie it to your main line and cast that out. And this was surprisingly accurate and works surprisingly well. So that's all it takes. As you can see, it's not all of that long. I'm guessing that that's probably about 15 centimeters there, maybe a little bit longer. And it was a good shape. But if you have a look around for various types of bottles and that, you could make something like that. But if you can get your bait into a target area in a fairly concentrated way, like this, it's packed in there, it falls out in one stream, you'll attract those fish. Now, probably the best session I ever had with this was a couple of years back fishing at Lake Nagambie. I had a couple of mates with me. We were on the bank. We found a target area. We're pretty relaxed, actually. We just wanted to be able to cast out our lines and sort of wait for the fish to bite. We used things like, we used a bit of corn, we used some worms, we used a little bit of yabby meat that I'd had previously, and this is basically, we'd eaten the yabby, so it's the heads and bits and pieces, and the worms we used were just the garden worms that I have, with a bit of their actual castings, which is the soil that those worms live in. We put all of that into there, so I made up a mixture of that, putting that in there, able to cast it out, to a same spot. So being fairly accurate with the casting, that then brought in the fish. And I think we were there for about 4 hours. In that 4 hours, we got a number of carp, some of them really big, a couple of nice redfin, and a 50 centimetre cod, Murray cod. It was a fantastic session. And this did it for us.